Hello, everybody. It's nice to have a possibility to talk about what I'm working with. My name is Mats Erik, but the most people call me Masse. And I'm working for a non-profit organization that's called RG Active Rehabilitation in Swedish, but if we call it in English, it's called RG Active Rehabilitation. And I'm going to show you during this presentation how we work with kayaking, and especially how we prepare people with physical impairments to go out and kayak in the archipelago. And we usually do it by sleeping in tent, and what preparation you need to, as I see it, to do this kind of excursion. And it would be fine. It would be nice if you have questions, and we can take the questions during the presentation. So and we can take them afterwards also. But if you have something that you want to speak about during one picture, it's nice to have this interactive discussion about things. So okay. This is a picture of me. It's 6 years ago, and it shows what I've been doing for 25 years now. I'm working a lot with outdoor activities for people with physical impairments, and during summertime we do kayaking, and during wintertime we do skating on ice, on a sit skate. So we use the same seat in the kayak and in the sit skate. So it's a nice way to be outdoor all year round. So you can have these two possibilities. And if you have any questions, just ask them. I'm going to talk a little bit about the organization that I'm working for, RG Active Rehabilitation. It's a non-profit member organization, and it started in 1976. And the reason it started, it was because we wanted to recruit more people to professional sport, to get more people into para sport. But we quite quick changed the track and changed it to recruit people back to a daily life after the impairment. To be but during the years, many people that have been in our organization have also been very successful in professional sport also. So it's a little bit, if you do a lot of physical training, you get stronger, and you have both the strength you got, you can use it on the track, and you can also use it in the daily life. And the method we're working with called active rehabilitation. And the vision we have is to give people a rich and inspiring life, for people with spinal cord injury and others in similar situation. So the main group that we're working with is people with spinal cord injuries, but we also, in the work that I'm doing, we have people who have leg amputees and people who have multiple sclerosis also, who is joining us during especially the kayaking. And the mission is to be aware of the physical possibilities, and we're working a lot to maximize the independence of the people, to show how independent they can be even in this situation. And we're working a lot with physical training in that. and to strengthen each individual's courage, willpower, and ability to take an active part in society. So we want people to be in our organization for a while, and then we want them to go out in the society. And we also want to be a pioneer on the method active rehabilitation and to spread it to other countries. And for example, in 1978, around 10 years after we started it also in Poland. And in Poland today, the active rehabilitation is much bigger than in Sweden. So it can be interesting to think about. And today we have I think around 7 or 8 countries that we have visited and show the way that we're working. And the method we're working with is that we're working with peers. It's maybe the most important thing in our organization, that we have a lot of instructors and leaders that themselves have a disability, and that they can show the newly injured people how to get back to an active daily life. And we are working on focusing on the possibilities. And we wanted to be in everything that we do. We try to have that. And as I said, daily life is that we're focusing on. And physical training as a tool. And kayaking is one, and other physical training is strength training. It's also endurance training in the wheelchair. And we have also a lot of people that can walk, but maybe they need crutches or poles to go walk with. So we're working a lot with that technique also to get better in walking. And another part of the active rehabilitation is the mental process that the people get when they meet others and interact. And we have camps where they meet, where many people meet and they get boosted. Is there anything more that you think, something that there are questions about the organization? Something that want to ask something?
Can you say which countries you are active in?
Yeah, as I said, Poland was the first country we went to in 1978, and then there are other countries in Latvia, I think in Ukraine, White Russia, who have been in Belarus, I mean, and also today we have been in Botswana. We also been in Greece. So there's been and then during these missions, or we call them, the peers and have visited the countries, and we have brought wheelchairs and the way of working with this. Yeah, why we started to paddle? It was because of this guy sitting in front in this canoe. His name is Lua, and he has a high spinal cord injury, injured C6, C7. He broke his neck, and he was training at our rehab station, and it was me, and it was also Anna, who is here. She was working with me at that time, and we met Lua, and he had been kayaking, he had been canoeing before the accident, and he was interested, curious, could it work now also? So we started to find out how to do this, and one thing we did, that we developed a seat, and it's maybe hard to see on this picture, but he's sitting in a wooden seat that is, and the seat is going around his, because he doesn't have any trunk muscle left working. He doesn't have any, so he needed a backrest, and he needed rest on the sides also, and also a little bit in the front, not to fall forward. So, but he wanted it to be in this way, this seat, because otherwise he couldn't get the power when he was paddling. But we were a little bit afraid also, if he should flip and turn around, what would happen? Would he get out? So we were a little scared, but nothing happened. It went well. And this picture is from the first excursion we did, and I think it was, Anna knows also, it was 1993. And it was, we were a lot of people that wanted to, we were inspired to do a very good weekend paddling. And it was a little river that we were kayaking. And before we went out, canoeing, I mean, we sent out we had been canoeing before, a little shorter distances. And we also had been given the participants lists of what they should bring to this weekend excursion. But one thing was that they didn't bring the thing that they needed. For example, rain gears, and we had rain all weekend, so it was a lot of. We had plastic bags everywhere. As you can see, he has on his pants there for some extra. So it was we learned a lot from this weekend. We learned that we needed to have. I can take it on the next picture. Here also we can see the aim of why we started to paddle was also we wanted to active rehabilitation, to do outdoor rehabilitation, because before the organization had been working more for indoor rehabilitation activities like wheelchair, basketball, and other things that you can do indoor. And it was a lot of guys with, but we wanted to do something for the women to also. And this was it was more. The most people, there were guys also, but there was a lot of girls who wanted to join us with this. So like a complement to indoor rehabilitation, and we wanted to be all year round. And the reflections after this first excursion was that we need better outdoor gears and proper clothing, and maybe not to trust people when you send out a list. You need to have some maybe. So after this excursion, we started to meet people and have meetings and talk about what kind of gears do you need, and we also were showing them how to use a camping kitchen like that, and so we were better prepared. And we also found out we needed to develop an adapted seat, and a seat that was safe, that you could get out of if you should flip. And learn more about kayaking and safety before going out. That was the things that we found out. So Anna was the one who was working mostly with this, and she was together with some other people developed this adapted seat. And as you can see, it's an adjustable backrest that you can lean it a little backwards and you can lean it forwards. And when you kayak, you canoe, you want to sit upright for get the power. But if you don't have enough strength, if you don't have any muscles in your stomach that can in the back, you need to lean it a little backwards. And you see it's also a footrest. So this one you can put down in the kayak that we use. And the company who have made this seat, they're still working with this, and I was talking this afternoon with the guy who is working with this, and he said that to next year they will start to sell them again. They have been a couple of years they don't have been selling these seats, but next year they have tried to improve it and they will start to sell it again. So if somebody is interested in the company is called Anatomic Sit, and it's in Sweden, in Norrköping. If you come from Sweden, you know where it is. And this seat, of course, is in different wides and different. You can have different backrest heights depending on depending on your size. And as I said, we also needed to be better in the safety thinking. So we started to do indoor practice in a swimming pool. And one thing that is good to do this indoor practice, that in very safe conditions you can have the possibility to train, for example, to transfer to the kayak and back up on the dock. And many people that is out kayaking with us, they are good in transferring, but there are also a lot of people that are not so good in transferring. So this is a good way to improve your transferring. So
have you got a picture for that? Because I still see the adapted seat picture.
Okay, but I have changed.
Okay, I skipped forward now, and okay. I don't know if everybody can see this picture with indoor training.
Can everybody see this picture with indoor? Okay, strange.
Now, yes, it was on, but now we're back to the seat.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, I can turn pages. I don't know if everybody can, but do you all see the picture with the pool indoor training?
Yes.
No, not now.
I can only see the seat.
Me too.
So something happening there.
Strange that some of us can see and.
You need to take control yourself and
okay,
turn
maybe
the pages.
I take the control, but now maybe I took the control. Was that good?
As a matter of fact, I can switch between the slides. I just noticed. So if I do it myself, I can see now step number 1, indoor practice. So maybe we can do it on our own if you're just telling us on how to manage.
Or maybe it was because others were changing. Maybe it was, I don't know if that was the reason it was something working.
We follow you, Masse.
Follow me, okay. The picture, can everybody see the picture indoor practice step 1 now? Yeah?
Yes.
Yep.
Good. Okay. As I said, we were starting doing indoor practice in a pool. And the good thing by doing that in a pool is that you can, in a very safe environment and a calm environment, you can practice to transfer. The participants can practice transferring. And they can also try the seat for the first time and try to sit in a kayak and to find the balance. and they can also do some paddling, and they can also do practice some rescue maneuver, as you can see on the small pictures. So this is a way that we've been working with for people with a spinal cord injury to get back up in the kayak by a rescue with a friend here. So every year we start with this in April with 1 or 2 times. But this year, because of the corona, we didn't do any indoor practice. So we were sending out our video showing how to do this. And the next step is that we go outdoor, and we have a collaboration with a canoe club in Stockholm called Brunnsvikens Canoe Club. So there we are, and we are kayaking two nights a week. And here you also, the participants get the next step to practice to transfer. And we kayak on very calm water, so it's a good way to take the next step. The kayak club that we are collaborating with, they have a kayak where we can put the seat in, and we also have our own seats, our own kayaks there. Here are one example of the kayak that we're using. This is a Swedish kayak called VKV, and it's a very stable kayak. And as you can see, it has 3 cockpits. So in the cockpit in the middle, we can put the wheelchair when we're out on a day trip or an excursion with overnight excursion. So it's and it's very stable. So it's very good to have this kayak when you're out with people that have very bad balance and people who are tall also. And this adapted seat, we can put it in the bottom of the kayak. So we take away the original seat and put down this one. And this kayak is the company is selling this kayak also today. So the most people are starting in double kayaks when we do outdoor, but then we also do single kayaks, of course. And after that, next step is day trips, and here's one of our popular day trips. It's when we paddle in the city of Stockholm, and it's a good way to paddle longer distance, and also to bring the wheelchair with you, and to take a lunch break, to get to leave the kayak and take a lunch break, and so it's a way to see that works also, and yeah, and you can take the day trip, of course, in the nature, but this in the city used to be very popular, and it's a nice feeling to see the city from the water. And then we do the kayaking in the archipelago. And here's a picture for one of our favorite places that we used to go to. And it's a narrow archipelago, so it's easy to get out to the real, to the sea feeling that you're out very far out, but it's also a place where you can go behind islands and get safe very easy if the weather should be too windy or something like that. And I'm sitting back in this big kayak here, and you can see we have the wheelchair also in the middle here. And the people that are with us on these excursions, the most people have wheelchairs, are needed, dependent on wheelchairs, but some people also have can walk a little and have crutches. So then they can do kayaking in a single kayak. But if you need a wheelchair, then it's most often you need a double kayak. The archipelago in Sweden, we have many small islands, and some of them have a smooth rock surface, and there is those islands that we are trying to find. So so for example, one of our favorite islands, we have been for 10 years at the same island because we know it works so well. And in Sweden, we have a right of public access, so you have the possibility to stay 2 nights at the same place, and you just need to take care of the nature and leave it as you found it. The water in the Baltic Sea that we have outside Stockholm is a mix of sweet and salt water. So. And it's no tide, and that is it's convenient when you're paddling, that you don't need to think about that so much. Okay, what do you need for preparations before you go out? You need to find an area for the excursion, to find a suitable area, and then check out good lounging places with accessible parking, toilets, ramps, jetties, etc. You need to find a campground and also a plan B campground if your campground is booked or someone is there. Sometimes we used to paddle directly to the campground and start in the morning, so we take the campground before other comes there. You need to have a sheltered and accessible natural harbor. It's good to look at that. And as I said, smooth rock surface and enough space for tents and an outdoor washroom. And it's also very important that you check out and find spots for lunch break, for example, and that you have more than one spot, depending on the weather, depending on the wind. And this was something that we realized this summer when we were out, and it was a place that we thought we should go to, but we found out we couldn't get in, we couldn't land with the kayaks there. So it was because of the wind, we needed to change our route, and then so it's you can never be out and checking too much before. It's good to have these places, so you have a lot of options. And you need to have a solution for outdoor washroom when you're out. And this outdoor washroom, we also, when we're out, when we take these lunch breaks, you need to be able to put up this outdoor washroom also. So it's a little planning. What kind of preparations do we need for the group, for the participants? We need to have well-prepared participants that they have trained before. For example, indoor pool exercise and safety training, evening paddlings and day trips. And the leaders need to be informed about the participants' pre-skills, mobility and needs. And the group size, how big group can we take? Depending on the needs of participants. We used to, it depends on the mobility of the people that are that are in the group. But for example, This year it was 5 participants and we were 4 instructors. So it was one of our instructors was he got sick, so we were a little too few instructors. But then we had invited 2 family members, 1 family member and 1 friend, and so therefore it was workable to do it. So I think it's a recommendation to try to get the family members to join the kayaking, and we used to do that also already when we do the pool training, indoor training, that they can practice safety maneuver between each other. So it's very popular. Many people have their own have their members with them, and it's a way also it's easier to then continue kayaking by yourself at home after the excursion. Here's a picture from one of the places that we used to go to. This is close to the campground. As you can see, it's a sheltered bay, and it's quite easy access and a good natural harbor. And here's the campground. And one thing that I think is important when you're out, that you have a campground that the people can propel by themselves with a wheelchair. I have found out that gives them a much more richer experience when they're out, and a freer feeling instead of needed a person helping them to. So it's important. And it's important when you put up the toilet, for example, also that they can go there by themselves to the washroom. Here's an example of the tents that we're using. We're mostly using quite big tents. These are very nice tents, and you can also put the wheelchair. Now there is a kid in the presentation. I don't know where he is. There's a voice from him.
Can we remind everybody to switch off the microphones?
Is it also?
I don't know.
There's someone who has a small child here. Okay. Yeah, we used to have these big tents, and they're also good because you can put the wheelchair in the tent during the nighttime, so it's very good. Here's a picture when we have a lunch break. So we mostly do making the lunch on our camping stoves like this. So and nothing tastes as good when you're out eating it. It's a very nice feeling to be out, and a very free feeling. As I said, transferring is an important thing, and when you're out here, it can be more challenging than it's when you're at a jetty or something more accessible. But it can also be a way of finding out new solutions, a way of getting courage and be feeling that you can manage to do things to do a transfer when you're out, and even you don't need to have everything so accessible. You can try to be better by yourself in transferring, and so it's and here you can see 2 of our assistants, our instructors, are assisting the girl here when she's getting up in the wheelchair again. Here is a picture of the outdoor washroom that we are bringing with us. So it's a very it's a very stable and good toilet, or what you said. So and you can put it into pieces, and so it doesn't take so much space when you bring it with you. Is there any questions? Or I can take the last 4 slides and then we can have questions. These are some steps. What kind of steps do a canoe club if they want to start up with kayaking for paddlers with physical disabilities? What do they need? Check the interest in the club. Check out how many, if there is. I think sometimes a lot of clubs, they have problems to find instructors and leaders because they have already a lot of involved in other groups. So it can be tough to find instructors, but you need to find at least a couple that is interested, and also to find instructors with different skills. We have around 15 instructors in our group during this kayaking, and some of them are very skillful in kayaking, but the most instructors are working as physiotherapists, and they are working with the people with the impairments. So they are working with the participants. So it's very good to have them with them, because they are so good in assisting with when people should transfer, for example, and they know what the people need. So it's very, very helpful, and they also know. I feel when they are working indoor in their normal work, when they want the people to come out and see these things. So they are very motivated, these instructors. And then you need to invent the accessibility and make adjustment when necessary on physical premises, indoor and outdoor. So I think the kayak club doesn't need to improve everything, and that everything should be accessible, but at least there should be a washroom, and there should be a dock or a jetty that is good. We don't have any special jetties when we are doing kayaking. We have a jetty that is close to the water, so it's quite easy to transfer. But then we have found out techniques how to help and assist the people, so they can participants to come down to the jetty and to the kayak and back again. So it's more about techniques, I think. Sometimes you can have a lift or something like that, and that's good, but then you only have one place to kayak. So that is good. And things like that you can learn, for example, on this education that we have a leadership education at our organization are hosting every second year. And the next time we will have it is in May next year. Hopefully, we should have it this year, but because of the corona, we have changed the date for it. You need to have canoes or kayaks appropriate for the purpose, adapted seat, for example. We also have special gloves if you don't have full function in the hands. We have people with those impairments also who is kayaking with us. And we need to do outreach work so let people know about the possibilities to do this. This is sunset in September 2018 at the campground that we are staying at. I have stayed this last few years on this place, this last 4 years. This year also Katinka visited us. It was very nice to hosting her there. And here are some instructors that have been certified in this instructor education. And as you can see, there are people both with themselves have an physical impairments, and there are also people who don't have. So, and that's one of the things that we're working with in our organization, that we're working with is peers that are showing, they are very important to showing newly injured people that it's possible to do these things. And the next workshop, as I said, was in May 2021. During this workshop, we're working with this handbook. Today it's only in Swedish, but I think you can find out a lot in it, even if it's in Swedish. The book also includes an instruction movie, and this movie you can watch it on our website. You see the website address there, and it has subtitles in English, so it's very good in that way. Yeah, and if you want to contact me, this is my email. Thank you very much, everybody. Do you have any questions?
Excellent, Masse. Thank you so much for the presentation.
I think I did it in time.
Almost. We're actually a few minutes late,
Okay.
and it was due to some technical problems in the beginning. I think it would still be nice if we can have at least a few minutes for questions, and then we need maybe 1 or 2 minutes for switching the presentation to Michal. I hope everybody is fine with this. If not, you can write in the chat if you have to leave early or something. You can, anyone that has a question, please switch on your microphone and put the question forward. Or if you would like to write your question, you can use the little chat symbol, which is in my computer, it's in the top bar. Actually, I had, well, not so much as a question, but I thought that wouldn't it be great if everybody could contribute? If you are out kayaking and you see this spot which has all these criteria, well, could we just send these hints or tips and good places, maybe to Masse, or just to collect these good places? Because it's a very time-consuming mission to find new spots, I think.
Yeah. If you're in, we have a the Swedish Canoe Federation. We have a little Facebook group also called the Parakanotisterna. That could be a place also that you can put up a text about that also, and give some tell where you've been. Yeah.
In general, is this something for free, or do people buy the courses, and do you have any funding? So how is the finance on this?
You mean for the participants?
Yep.
We have. I am. This is my job, so I've got paid for it. It's a kind of funding from the Swedish organization here, from the government. So, but the other instructors that working with us, there are volunteers. So, but they also get paid if they want. Some want some money and some don't. And the people that are kayaking with us, they are paying, and we're trying to put the fees in the same level as it should be if you're not disabled or things like that. So it's cost a little, but we don't. It's not so expensive if you compare. We may be a little bit cheaper than the most groups.
So is the funding from the Kayak Federation, or is it from the government because of some disabled?
It's from the government because that we're working with rehabilitation, and I didn't mention it so much, but kayaking is a very good way of to in working with this rehabilitation, this active rehabilitation, and so we got funding for that because it have been shown that it's a good way of rehabilitating people, and Anna has been doing a lot of research on this also. So therefore we got money for that.
Okay, we have a question from CC. She's asking, how often do you have these activities? I don't know, CC, if you mean the day tours or the evening paddling or these overnight hikes?
I mean everything.
Yeah.
Everything, yeah. The evening paddlings, this year we have had it two evenings a week. Because of the corona, we have made it in two, instead of one evening a week, we have two, and in smaller groups, and that has been very successful. And the day tour we do once a year, and we also used to do one of these excursions overnight. Yeah.
Do you see the question there, Master?
No, I don't.
Do you also include people with intellectual disabilities?
No, we don't do that. And the reason is because of our organization is working with we're working with the physical, and that's we've been focusing on that, and the peers that are working for the organization are themselves. So we're working with people with similar disabilities, and also the seat that we have improved is it's made for physical impairments, but it's a big group, and I think it's very important that we try to find solutions for that group also.
Okay, if anyone has one last short question, that is okay, or else we will thank you, Masse, with an applause. But if someone has a question, I think there was one question. Anna is writing, we did that in the beginning when we started in 1993. I guess, Anna, you mean you were catering for people with intellectual disability?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a short working with that.
Right. And here's the last question. No, that was thank you, Masse.
Okay.
From Ben.
Thank you. And this presentation, I think you should put it on the website, Katinka.
Yes, and I can send it as a PDF on email to all of you who has been present now as well. So thanks a lot, Master.
Yeah. And I can also say to the people in Sweden that we have these opportunities on other places in Sweden also. So just visit our website, and there then you can see the other places where. In Stockholm is the biggest, but we have other places also that are doing kayaking and have these equipments and instructors.
And we can see your email address here. So if we think of questions later on, we can just send them to you. Okay.
Perfect.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now. Michal, do you think you're ready for your presentation?
Well, yes, I will try.
Yes, good.
Hopefully it will work this time.
Maybe we can take just a 2-minute break if anyone needs to get something, get new coffee or something, and Michal will put the presentation up. But we need to start at 6:10. Have you started sharing your screen, Michal?
Yes, but I don't know what's going on. But I'm trying.
Yes, now it's there.
Yeah, you see something?
Yes, we can
I
see.
don't know if it's work
Right.
or what's going on. Oh.
It's working. And if you would like to put it on full screen, I think you can do that.
Full screen. I don't know what's going on, but
It works like it is
What
now.
do you see now? Yeah, I would like to.
We can see the first slide, examples of equipment with the title.
Okay.
Here's a tip. Press F5.
Yes, I know. Do you see better now?
No, it's still in edit mode. It's still legible, so if you can't find a way to put a full screen, it's okay anyway.